I never imagined I'd be in this situation, but life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. I'm Zach, 28M, and I recently discovered that I have a 5-year-old daughter I never knew existed. To understand how I got here, I need to take you back to the beginning. 6 years ago, I was a fresh college graduate, eager to start my career in software development. I had landed a job at a promising tech startup in the city, and I was ready to take on the world. That's when I met Tina, 27F, at a mutual friend's housewarming party. She was studying to become a veterinarian, and we hit it off immediately. We bonded over our shared love for old sci-fi movies and our dreams of making a difference in the world. Our relationship progressed quickly. Within a few months, we were practically inseparable. We'd spend weekends exploring the city, trying out new restaurants, and planning our future together. Tina was brilliant, kind, and had a wicked sense of humor. I thought I had found my soulmate. We dated for 2 years, and things seemed perfect. We had even started discussing marriage and our plans for the future. I remember one night, sitting on the roof of my apartment building, looking at the stars, and talking about how many kids we wanted. Tina said she wanted at least 2, and I agreed. It felt like we were on the same page about everything. But then, out of nowhere, Tina broke up with me. It was a regular Tuesday evening. I had just gotten home from work, excited to tell her about a new project I was assigned at the startup. Instead, I found her sitting on the couch, a packed bag by her feet. She told me she needed space and that we wanted different things in life. I was blindsided. I tried to understand, to figure out what had changed, but she wouldn't give me a clear answer. She just said she needed to focus on her studies and that our relationship was holding her back. I was devastated. For weeks, I couldn't eat or sleep properly. I threw myself into my work, staying late at the office and taking on extra projects just to keep my mind occupied. My friends tried to cheer me up, drag me out to bars or set me up on dates, but my heart wasn't in it. I kept replaying our relationship in my head, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Slowly, I started to piece my life back together. I got promoted at work, started going to the gym regularly, and even tried my hand at dating again. But none of the relationships felt right. They all seemed to pale in comparison to what I had with Tina. Fast forward to 3 months ago. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and I decided to take advantage of the nice weather by going for a run in the local park. As I was cooling down near the playground, I saw a little girl who caught my attention. She had my eyes and my smile. At first, I thought I was imagining things, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I knew her somehow. Then I saw Tina walking up to her, and my world turned upside down. She looked different, her hair was shorter, and she seemed more mature, but it was definitely her. Our eyes met, and I saw the color drain from her face. The little girl, oblivious to the tension, ran off to play on the swings, giving us a chance to talk. Tina tried to make small talk, asking how I'd been, but I cut straight to the chase. I asked her if the little girl was her daughter, and she nodded. Then I asked the question that had been forming in my mind since I first saw the child: is she mine? Tina's silence was all the answer I needed. She eventually admitted that yes, Natalie was my daughter. She found out she was pregnant shortly after our breakup but decided not to tell me because she thought I wasn't ready for fatherhood. She said she knew how important my career was to me and didn't want to burden me with a child. I was furious. How could she make that decision for me? I missed out on 5 years of my daughter's life because Tina decided I wasn't ready. We had a heated argument right there in the park, our voices low but intense to avoid drawing attention. I demanded a paternity test, not because I doubted Natalie was mine, but because I knew I'd need it for legal purposes. Tina agreed, probably realizing she had no choice. The next few weeks were a blur. The paternity test confirmed what I already knew in my heart: Natalie is my daughter. Now, I'm trying to navigate this new reality, and it's overwhelming. I want to be part of Natalie's life, but Tina is making it difficult. She's setting all these rules and restrictions on when and how I can see Natalie. She says it's to protect our daughter, but I can't help feeling like she's punishing me for something that wasn't my fault. To complicate matters further, my family is furious with Tina. When I told my parents about the situation, my mom broke down in tears, devastated that she had missed out on the first 5 years of her granddaughter's life. My dad, usually the calm one, was uncharacteristically angry. They're pushing me to go for full custody, saying Tina doesn't deserve to be Natalie's primary caregiver after what she did. I'm torn. On one hand, I'm angry at Tina for keeping this secret and robbing me of precious years with my daughter. On the other hand, I don't want to disrupt Natalie's life more than necessary. She's innocent in all of this, and I want to do what's best for her. But what is best for her? Is it staying primarily with the mother she's known all her life, or having equal time with both parents? My friends are divided on the issue. My best friend, Jake, thinks I should fight for custody. He argues that Tina forfeited her right to make unilateral decisions about Natalie when she chose to keep her a secret. But my colleague, Maria, who went through a messy custody battle herself, advises me to take it slow and build a relationship with Natalie gradually. She warns that a lengthy legal battle could traumatize Natalie and damage any chance of a cordial co-parenting relationship with Tina. I'm also worried about how this will affect my current girlfriend, Rebecca, 26F, who I've been dating for a year. We met at a coding bootcamp I was teaching on weekends, and hit it off immediately. She's smart, ambitious, and we share a lot of common interests. When I told her about Natalie, she was shocked but supportive. However, I can tell she's struggling with the idea of me having a child with my ex. We had talked about our future together, and suddenly, those plans seem up in the air. I've started spending time with Natalie, and she's amazing. She's smart, funny, and has so much energy. She loves animals, just like her mom, and gets excited about the smallest things. Every time I see her, I'm reminded of all the moments I've missed. Her first words, her first steps, her first day of school, all gone because of Tina's decision. The financial aspect of this situation is another point of contention. I want to contribute to Natalie's upbringing, but Tina and I can't agree on how much or how it should be done. She seems to think that because she raised Natalie alone for 5 years, she gets to make all the decisions now. But I want to be involved in every aspect of Natalie's life, including decisions about her education, healthcare, and general upbringing. I'm at a loss. I want to be a good father, but I also want justice for what was taken from me. How do I move forward? How do I build a relationship with my daughter while dealing with all this anger and resentment towards her mother? And how do I balance all of this with my current relationship and the rest of my life? Any advice would be appreciated. I feel like I'm drowning in a situation I never asked for, and I don't want to make any decisions that I'll regret later. How do I make this right, not just for me, but for Natalie? Update 1. It's been 2 months since my last post, and a lot has happened. First, I want to thank everyone for their advice and support. Your comments and messages have been a lifeline during this tumultuous time. After much deliberation and consultation with a family lawyer, I decided to take legal action to establish my parental rights and work out a formal custody agreement. It wasn't an easy decision, but I felt it was necessary to ensure I had a legal right to be part of Natalie's life. The process has been challenging, to say the least. Tina initially resisted, claiming that disrupting Natalie's routine would be harmful. She argued that Natalie was thriving under the current arrangement and that introducing me fully into her life would only confuse and upset her. However, my lawyer helped me push for a temporary visitation schedule while we work out the details of a more permanent arrangement. For the past month, I've been seeing Natalie twice a week and every other weekend. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. Every moment with her is precious, but it's also a stark reminder of all the time I've lost. Natalie is a bundle of energy and curiosity. She loves dinosaurs and can recite the names of at least 20 different species. She gets excited about the smallest things, like finding a uniquely shaped leaf or a colorful rock. One particularly difficult moment was when Natalie asked me why I hadn't been around before. I struggled to find an age-appropriate way to explain the situation without bad-mouthing Tina. I simply told her that sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, but that I love her very much and I'm here now. It wasn't a perfect answer, but it seemed to satisfy her for the moment. Still, I know this is a conversation we'll need to revisit as she gets older and can understand more. My relationship with Tina remains tense. We're trying to be civil for Natalie's sake, but there's still a lot of unresolved anger and hurt between us. She's been more cooperative with the visitation schedule, but I can tell she's not happy about it. Every handover is awkward, with forced smiles and stilted small talk for Natalie's benefit. Last week, we had our first major disagreement about Natalie's upbringing. I learned that Tina had been feeding Natalie a strictly vegetarian diet. While I respect Tina's personal choice to be vegetarian, I don't believe it's right to impose that on Natalie without discussing it with me. We had a heated argument about it, which ended with us agreeing to consult a pediatric nutritionist to ensure Natalie's diet is balanced, regardless of whether it includes meat or not. My family, especially my parents, have been over the moon about meeting Natalie. They've showered her with gifts and attention, which has been lovely to see but has also caused some friction with Tina. She feels like they're trying to buy Natalie's affection, while my parents feel like they're making up for lost time. I've had to play mediator, reminding everyone that the most important thing is Natalie's happiness and well-being. My mom, in particular, has been struggling with the situation. She's oscillated between anger at Tina for keeping Natalie a secret, and guilt for not being there for the first 5 years of her granddaughter's life. She's been seeing a therapist to work through these emotions, which I think has been helpful. As for Rebecca, my girlfriend, things have been strained. She's been trying to be supportive, but I can see the toll this is taking on our relationship. She's feeling sidelined as more and more of my time and energy goes towards Natalie and dealing with this situation. We had a long talk last week where she expressed her fears about where she fits into my life now. We're working on finding a balance, but it's not easy. I love Rebecca, but I also know that Natalie has to be my priority right now. One positive development is that I've started attending a support group for parents in similar situations. It's been incredibly helpful to talk to others who understand what I'm going through. Some of their stories have made me realize that while my situation is difficult, it could be much worse. There's a guy in the group who didn't find out about his child until they were 16. Hearing his story made me grateful that I at least have the opportunity to be part of Natalie's life while she's still young. Financially, things are still up in the air. My lawyer is working on establishing a fair child support arrangement, but it's complicated given the unusual circumstances. I've started putting money aside for Natalie's future, including a college fund, which gives me some peace of mind. However, Tina and I still can't agree on how to handle everyday expenses. She seems to resent any financial contribution from me, as if accepting my money somehow diminishes her role as Natalie's primary caregiver for the past 5 years. As we move forward with the legal process, I'm trying to focus on building my relationship with Natalie. It's not always easy, and there are moments when the anger towards Tina threatens to overwhelm me. But then Natalie will say something funny or give me a hug, and all that anger melts away. I'm learning to separate my feelings about Tina from my relationship with Natalie, but it's a daily struggle. I know we have a long road ahead. There will be more challenges, more disagreements, and probably more heartache. But I'm committed to being the best father I can be, regardless of the circumstances. Natalie deserves nothing less. Thank you all again for your support. Your words of encouragement and advice have meant more than you know. I'll update again when there are significant developments. Update 2, it's been another 3 months, and I wanted to give you all an update on my situation with Natalie and Tina. Things have taken some unexpected turns, both good and bad. First, the good news. After several mediation sessions and negotiations through our lawyers, Tina and I have finally reached a custody agreement. I now have Natalie every Wednesday night and every other weekend, plus 2 weeks during the summer and alternating holidays. It's not perfect, but it's a huge improvement from where we started. Natalie seems to be adjusting well to the new arrangement. She's always excited to see me, and we've started developing our own little traditions. Every Wednesday, we have a breakfast for dinner night where we make pancakes together. It's become something she looks forward to all week. Last Wednesday, she insisted on making pancakes shaped like dinosaurs. It was messy, but seeing her laugh as she tried to make a T-Rex shaped pancake was worth every bit of batter we had to clean up. Now for the not so good news. My relationship with Rebecca ended about a month ago. Despite our best efforts, the strain of the situation proved too much for us. She felt like she couldn't compete with my newfound responsibilities as a father, and honestly, I couldn't give her the attention she deserved. It was a mutual decision, but it still hurts. Rebecca was a big part of my life for the past year, and adjusting to being single again while also navigating fatherhood has been challenging. On a more positive note, I've made some progress in my relationship with Tina. We're not friends by any means, but we've managed to establish a more cordial co-parenting relationship. We've even started using a co-parenting app to communicate about Natalie's schedule and needs, which has helped reduce direct conflicts between us. Last week, we managed to have a civil conversation about Natalie's upcoming school projects without any arguments. It felt like a small victory. However, just when things seemed to be settling into a new normal, another complication arose. Tina's parents, who I'd never met before, reached out to me. They explained that they had only recently learned about Natalie and my situation. Apparently, Tina had kept Natalie's paternity a secret from them as well, telling them that Natalie's father was not in the picture. This revelation has caused a rift between Tina and her parents. They're upset that she kept such a big secret from them and denied them the opportunity to know their granddaughter's father. They've been reaching out to me, wanting to meet and be part of Natalie's life. While I appreciate their interest, it's added another layer of complexity to an already complicated situation. Tina is furious that her parents contacted me and is now threatening to restrict my access to Natalie if I allow her parents to be involved. I'm torn about how to handle this. On one hand, I believe Natalie deserves to know all of her family. On the other hand, I don't want to jeopardize the delicate balance we've achieved in our custody arrangement. It feels like I'm walking a tightrope, trying to do what's best for Natalie while navigating the complex dynamics between all the adults in her life. As for Natalie, she continues to amaze me every day. She started taking an interest in coding, of all things. When she found out what I do for work, she asked me to teach her. Now, we spend some of our time together doing simple coding exercises on a kid-friendly programming website. Seeing her eyes light up when she makes her first animation work is indescribable. It makes me wonder what other interests and talents she might develop as she grows older, and I'm grateful that I'll get to be there to see it. I'm still attending the support group, which has been a lifeline through all of this. Hearing others' stories and sharing my own has helped me process my emotions and given me valuable perspectives on co-parenting. Last week, I shared about the situation with Tina's parents, and the group had some insightful advice on how to approach it. Looking ahead, I know there will be more challenges. Natalie will start school soon, which will bring its own set of complications. Tina and I will need to agree on which school she'll attend, how we'll handle parent-teacher conferences, and so much more. But for now, I'm focusing on cherishing every moment I have with her and doing my best to be the father she deserves. Thank you all for your continued support. I'll update again if there are any significant changes. Update 3, it's been 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share the latest developments in my journey with Natalie and the ongoing saga with Tina. The biggest news is that I've recently been offered a promotion at work. It's a great opportunity. I'd be leading a team developing a new AI-driven software platform. The catch? It would require relocating to a different state, about 500 miles away. Normally, I would have jumped at the chance, but now, with Natalie in the picture, It's not that simple. I brought up the possibility with Tina, and as expected, she was completely against it. We had a long, tense conversation about it. She argued that moving would disrupt Natalie's life and our current custody arrangement. She pointed out that Natalie had just started making friends at her new school and was settling into a routine with both of us. We had a heated argument about it, with Tina accusing me of putting my career before Natalie's well-being. I spent weeks agonizing over the decision. I talked to my boss about the possibility of working remotely, but the nature of the project requires me to be on-site. I consulted with my lawyer about how a move might affect my custody rights. I even took Natalie on a weekend trip to the new city, just to see how she might like it there. After a lot of soul-searching and discussions with my lawyer, I've decided to turn down the promotion. It wasn't an easy decision. Part of me feels like I'm giving up a huge opportunity. But I realize that being close to Natalie is more important to me than advancing my career right now. My boss was understanding and has promised to keep me in mind for future opportunities that don't require relocation. On a more positive note, Natalie and I have grown even closer. She's now calling me Dad consistently, which fills me with joy every time I hear it. We've started a tradition of having a science Saturday every time she stays with me for the weekend. We do simple experiments or watch educational videos together. Last weekend, we made a volcano with baking soda and vinegar in the backyard. Natalie was so excited when it erupted that she insisted on doing it 3 more times. Her curiosity and enthusiasm for learning constantly amaze me. Regarding the situation with Tina's parents, things have somewhat settled down. After much discussion and mediation, we've reached a compromise. They are allowed to see Natalie during my time with her, but we've agreed to take it slow and always prioritize Natalie's comfort. So far, it seems to be working out. Natalie enjoys spending time with them, especially her grandfather who shares her love for puzzles. We had a nice afternoon last month where we all worked on a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle together. Tina and I are still working on our co-parenting relationship. We've had our ups and downs, but overall, things have improved. We've even managed to attend one of Natalie's school events together without any drama, which felt like a major accomplishment. It was a science fair, and Natalie had made a project about the water cycle. Seeing her beam with pride as she explained her project to us both was a moment I'll never forget. I've started dating again, casually. I'm being very cautious about introducing anyone to Natalie, but it feels good to be moving forward with my personal life. I've been upfront about my situation with the women I've dated, and while some have been understanding, others have decided it's not for them. I'm okay with that. Natalie is my priority, and I need someone who can accept that. One challenge we're currently facing is that Natalie has been asking more questions about why I wasn't around when she was younger. It's a difficult topic to navigate, and Tina and I are trying to find a way to explain it that's honest but age-appropriate. We've considered seeking help from a child psychologist to guide us through these conversations. It's important to both of us that Natalie understands she's loved and that the situation wasn't her fault. Looking back on the past year, it's hard to believe how much has changed. There have been moments of frustration, anger, and sadness, but also incredible joy and love. Watching Natalie grow and being part of her life has been the most rewarding experience of my life. I know we still have challenges ahead. As Natalie grows older, we'll have to navigate more complex issues and emotions. But I'm committed to being there for her, no matter what. While I may not update as frequently, know that your words have made a real difference in helping me navigate this unexpected chapter of my life.